Not yet. Dude, so we're down a guy tonight. We're down Opal. We don't have Opal with us tonight. It's just me and Brad. We've got a new producer in the building. It's Evan. You guys heard him on another podcast. Fucking look it up. Figure it out. But anyways, so you know the other podcast we run out of here from Under the Bleachers? Those guys are like just super into sports. Super into sports.
Super.
Well, they have an entire podcast based on it. So if you're like super into sports, unlike myself, go check out From Under the Bleachers. But at the end of the day, I like to fuck with these guys a lot because I'm in a group chat with them.
Oh, God.
And the only relevant things that come out of the group chat, for me anyway, are times that they're going to show up at my house to do their podcast, right?
Right.
The rest of it is all sports talk.
And you're like, I have no idea what's going on.
And so they made these picks for football. I don't even know what the fuck the picks are for. But they're all posting these picks for the football season. And I was like, hey, well, first I made a joke, you know, the obvious joke. They were like, hey, let me get them pics. And I was like, them dick pics or what? And then I was like, seriously, guys, can I make some pics? And they're like, yeah, I guess. Like, if you want to. I just copy and pasted Opal's pics. Oh. God damn.
This is who I want to be.
Brad, we are some 1-2 flannel bandits tonight.
Yeah, we are. You got to. It's getting cold out here in Illinois. You got to have the flannel on. So I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do in this deer stand this weekend. I'm going to freeze my balls off.
You're going to bring up deer hunting already?
I already am. That's the only thing I've been... Dude, that's the only thing I've been thinking about all goddamn week.
It's been consuming your life?
It's been consuming my life. My girlfriend hates me. She says, all you care about is fucking hunting now.
Like, tell her to get used to it, because once you catch the bug, sir, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, I don't think I've officially caught the bug, but it's like it's digging into my skin right now slowly. It's like a tick. It's just working its head in, getting ready to just in bed.
Right. Real slowly.
Real slow, like, you know what I mean?
Dude, so we're just checking stuff out here, making sure our live stream's good to go. Just want to check for green. I forgot to tell Evan this stuff, so it's not his fault, guys. It's not his fault.
No, but on a side note,
Learning as I go.
He's learning as he goes, and we don't have any stream health.
so does this mean we're not live?
Uh-oh.
What does this mean?
Hold on, sir. We're there. We're in.
We're in this bitch? We better be in this bitch. No,
It's not as green as I would like it, but, you know, it works.
as long as people get the gist of it.
Oh, you want me to drink this?
Well, yeah, that's why I made the shit, remember? No, but on a for real note, though. So, you guys all heard the last podcast where AJ totally talked me into deer hunting. And I promise I won't make this all about deer hunting. But, so we totally went and put up a stand. I'm ready to go. Got my tags, got everything. I just need to, get some more practice in with the bow, make sure I'm feeling comfortable. But, anyways, like, doing this was basically on a whim. Had no real intention at the beginning of the season to do this. I was actually planning on selling my bow to somebody, but
Jake.
Shh, that's confidential. Anyways, so I was planning on selling it, but then AJ talked me into it, and I was like, you know what? I might as well do the damn thing. I've been talking about it for years. Might as well just fucking get it over with. Just do it. See if I really want to before I go selling this bow. Because
I mean, you got a pretty good bow. There's no reason to sell it.
well, yeah. That's if I don't want to hunt ever again.
Right.
But I don't know, just kind of jumping into this on a whim, not necessarily prepared, but, preparing over a week span, like a crash course, and this is what to do. I mean, there's like a whole bunch of butterflies because I just don't really know what to expect. And then there's just this level of excitement, just like, this is really something I really have wanted to do for a while. I just never got the balls together to fucking do it. And there, I mean, people listening to this are probably like, oh man, I've been doing this since I was 8. Well, fuck you. I've never been doing it. So, This is the first time going out and climbing up in the middle of a fucking 23-foot tall tree and trying to kill something.
But for the record, you have the most comfortable tree stand setup I've ever put up in my life.
Totally.
By the way.
That was perfect. The way the stand sits in between the two branches and then the back just leans back like a fucking recliner.
You got a goddamn recliner.
Yeah.
23 feet in the air.
Yeah. I mean, I would fall asleep, but I'm probably going to be so fucking jittery and nervous. I'm going to be like head on a swivel.
Yeah, and I mean, anybody that's like super into hunting, I obsessed over this stand set that I put up for him, and I'm not even going to hunt it. And it's that good. That if you don't kill something out of there, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah. We just shot, and I just took out AJ's fence. It's probably because I can't see because it's fucking dark, but, you know, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
But the thing I kind of just want to get at is just like, you know, it's nervous. It's something out of the norm for me. It's not something that I, you know how to do. And it's kind of like a new experience. And to just kind of jump at it on a whim is, I mean, it's kind of nice, but it's nerve-wracking at the same time. But it's like if I wouldn't have just been like, yeah, let's fucking do it, I would have never done it. You know?
Right.
Like, and that goes back to anything in life. If you don't just, like, there's time for preparation, but then there's time to just say, fuck it. It's either now or never.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I said. I was like, it's either now or never. I'm just going to do it. You know, if I don't even kill anything, if I fall out of the goddamn tree, so what? At least I did it, you know?
Right.
That's all that matters is that I put 100% into it. And dude, my girlfriend's fucking pissed at me because I've been just nothing but YouTube videos on hunting. Like, I've been buying magazines, talking to you like almost every goddamn day about this.
Right.
I'm just trying to, you know, put 100% into it. Because I feel like no matter what you do in life, as long as you put 100% into it, even if you fail, you won't regret it.
Right.
Because you know in your heart, okay, I gave my all. Yeah, it might not have turned out the way I wanted it to, but I definitely can't regret it because I put my all into that.
Well,
you know?
and it applies to different things in your life too, because what I found is I started hunting when I was 8, you know, like actually hunting 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I think the first time I sat alone I was like 10 years old. And you know, then I see a lot of like what I was going through then, like what you're going through now, right?
Yeah.
And for me now, like I would, you know, not to like pat myself on the back, but like I kill a deer every year.
Right.
And, you know,
I just killed a big fucking deer this year.
I killed a pretty nice buck this year. But, you know, to me, it's repetition now.
Right.
And, you know, there's still a challenge aspect to it. But for me, it's just a lot of repetition. And I enjoy the repetition. But a guy that's pretty famous in the hunting world, a lot of people won't get this reference, but you'll like what he has to say. His name's Cam Hanes, and he's got a simple motto: train hard, hunt easy. Mm-hmm. And to me, that applies to a lot of things. And, you know, I'm going to try and parallel track this as I explain it. So hunting for me at first was, you know, I had the jitters. I was nervous. I was apprehensive. I was, you know, just very uneducated, right? Because I hadn't put the work in.
Right.
I was new to it. I was green. And now that I'm a seasoned bow hunter, I only got to this place because every early August, late July, I have went out, I have scouted, I've put my cameras out, I've put in the work and preparation that goes into it, right?
Right.
So that by opening day, I know what deer are out there, I know their patterns, I know where they're going, I can cut them off at the pass, and I have a really good chance of taking a nice, mature deer, right?
Right.
I'm not, you know, I've progressed past the point of just shooting whatever walks in front of me, which is the stage you have to go through, right? But this is a stage you can apply this to anything. So if you want to become a tattoo artist, you're not going to be good at it right away.
Oh no, I was god awful.
Right. You're not going to be good at it right away, but if you have the interest and you have the drive to pursue it and to be the best at it that you can be, you're getting somewhere. And So this is the parallel track I'm going on. So, for me, like I reach hiatuses in my life. I reach, there's peaks and valleys with whatever you do. And, there's peaks and valleys for me in hunting. And, but you can take what I'm saying, even though I'm talking in hunting terms, and apply this to anything that you may be going after in your life. Because, like, now it's just a routine for me. I still love it. I love it just as much, if not more now than I did back then. But it's a routine for me, and it's not as much of a challenge anymore. There's always the what if, and there's always what can I be doing better, and what other mountains can I climb. And, for me, like now I've been I want to pursue something that I have not done before. Take the skill set that I have now and expand on it, right? Next year, I'm going to Colorado, and we're going to backpack hunt elk.
Shit.
We're going to hike in, and we're going to backpack hunt elk on foot in the mountains, spot and stalk. For me, I've never done that before. And that's like just a whole new learning curve. It's a whole new challenge, but it's taking my skill set that I have now and applying it to something else to make me a more well-rounded hunter, right? But you could take that and you can apply that to different things. So say you like to edit videos, right? So if you like video editing and you start off, you buy a decent camera, right? $200-$300 camera, it shoots nice videos. You get a good tripod and you get a good concept up, right? And you shoot this concept and, it's pretty good for your first, you know what I'm saying? But over time, you're going to develop that skill. And as you develop that skill, you're going to look back and you're going to go, I've come a long way. And you're going to get really good at whatever it is that you're applying yourself to. But there's variations of it. Can you push yourself to the next level? And the answer is always yes. Can you improve? The answer is always yes. It's just where do you want to take it? And, I think that our generation lacks a lot of patience.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, the problem with our generation is that we've grown up in this time of I want it here and I want it now. People want the quick fix. People, want the pill to make them feel better. People want whatever they want right then and now.
Right.
And it's fucking frustrating, especially because I'll relate this to tattooing. When you're in an industry where patience is everything, being able to sit and do artwork, no matter what it is, whether it's painting, drawing, anything like that, sculpting, it takes patience. It doesn't just happen.
Right.
It takes hours upon hours of thinking, planning, and just doing.
Right.
And you're sitting there doing and trial and error over and over again. Okay, that's fucking sucked. Throw that away. All right, okay, try this a different way. That sucked. Throw that away. You do that over and over and over again. And it's like, in today's society, you don't really get a whole lot of that. So when people are confronted with that, it freaks them out.
Right.
And something doesn't work smoothly. Fuck this. This is it just frustrates people. They don't have the patience to deal with it.
I also equate that to, like, you're making a good point, because there are good tattoo artists and there are great tattoo artists. The good tattoo artists have plateaued. They have leveled out, and they're not pushing themselves anymore. And I feel like that's when you get disgusted with whatever it is that you're doing, because it becomes monotonous and it's the same thing over and over and over. And you're like, I know I can do this shit with my eyes closed. And my train of thought is probably different than a lot of people's at that point. If you reach that point in whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you're pursuing or trying to get good at, we've had the talks on this podcast about finding something that you want to do and just become the best at it. Who gives a fuck if it makes any money? And, who gives a shit if anybody likes it? Just do something and get really good at it. But I think the key to, actually keeping yourself on track, you can perfect one aspect of anything.
Yeah.
And you can call yourself proficient in that, right? And, like me, I'm a really good white-tailed deer hunter. I can do that. I'm great at that, but
agreed.
but
You're
I
good
can't.
at that.
But you're I've watched you tackle these hurdles. This is probably a better way to explain what I'm trying to get across. You started out, just tackling just the world of tattooing,
Right.
in the general sense, and saying, hey, I want to be a tattoo artist, right?
Right.
And through trial, tribulation, pigskins, lots of time in the shop, cleaning and being around it, exposing yourself
Paying
to
your
it,
dues.
paying your dues, you became a full-time tattoo artist. Now, it's what you do at that point is what really matters, because a lot of people will go, damn, I made it. I've got a
Right.
full-time job, working in a tattoo shop. It's great. I love it. I get to do what I want every day.
Right.
But if you're the type of guy that is content with that, more power to you. I don't fault those people.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like you're getting out of life everything that you could be getting out of, because you get to do this thing once. And if you only get 50% of the way and you stop, it's like, why? Why stop? Because there's never not room to improve.
Oh yeah.
And
you see that a lot with people, especially in my industry. Like, people will reach that plateau and they think that there's no higher, and they'll let themselves go.
Well, it's not
And
even that they let themselves go. They get really good at internet picture, stencil, body, done, right?
Right.
See, what I admire about what you do is you're to the point now to where if somebody brings you something and you say, this is what you want on your body, and they go, yeah, you say, well, let me redraw that. Can I redraw that and make it mine? And make it my style. Nobody else. I'm going to follow your guidelines. I see what you want here. But let me redraw it in my style, see if you like it. I'm going to maybe draw one or two and say, I'll give you some revisions on this. If you like it, just let me run with it, though. But what you're doing when you do that is you're pushing yourself artistically. And you're trying to up the ante for yourself every time. So when somebody brings you something that you may have already done 100 of, it's pretty easy to convince somebody and say, hey, there's 100 people walking around with this same exact tattoo. Do you want me to change it up a little bit? And most of the time, they're gonna trust you, and they're gonna say, yeah, if they're good clients, right? And when you do that, in doing that, you're pushing yourself to the next level, because you might draw something in there that you can draw really well on paper, but it might be really hard to tattoo.
Right.
And when you do that, you're upping your abilities minutely every time you do a tattoo. And when you continue to push yourself like that in different aspects, different avenues, and it also applies to, like, somebody comes in and wants a huge black and gray piece, and all you've ever done is color, right? Or your niche is color. You really like to do color.
Right.
But somebody wants a huge shaded black and gray piece, taking that on and saying, yeah, I can do this, you're pushing yourself further.
Yeah.
And you're not staying content, because I feel like when you reach a plateau and you're content, you start to get disgusted with what you're doing, and then people either jump ship, quit doing what they're doing, and move on to something else that's but ground zero, right?
Right.
You start off at ground zero again, and then you got to climb this other mountain, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you haven't exploited what you're already good at to be the best of the best, you didn't actually climb that mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go with this analogy. So basically, when I started out, I would do a lot of color. I liked doing color. I didn't really care for black and gray. Like, I could do it, but I didn't necessarily, want to, in a sense.
Right.
Now, so I climbed up the mountain and I got to this plateau, and I'm just chilling right there.
Yeah.
And then there's this rest of the mountain that you can go up. Now, you have the choice. You can either sit here and go, I don't really do a lot of black and gray, but that guy does. You can let him do it.
Right.
And
it's
just
easy
pass
to
it
do
off.
that.
It's easy to do that. That's the easy route. If it's comfortable, everybody's happy at the end of the day. But what I do is I go, that's what you want? All right. I'll give it to you, and I'm going to give you the best of my ability, no
Right.
matter what it is. And I've been doing that. Like, I just moved shops, and it just pushed me 10 times further from, moving to this new shop, because I'm around other people that are driven, and I see different things. I see things that I want to improve on and that I want to do.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, this whatever walks through the door, you have to fucking do.
Right.
There's no, it's not really my thing. You know, like, I mean, I've been scared of portraits for a little while just because that's portraits are a very serious thing.
And it's
for
very
the
obvious
tattoo
if
world.
you fuck it up.
It's very obvious if you fuck it up. There's no room for error in that kind of thing. But now, if anybody wants a portrait, yeah, I'm gung-ho to do it.
Yeah.
Because I've done a few that aren't necessarily faces, but I was like, that's a good stepping stone. Like, at least that's moving forward. And then, I inched my way up.
And it's the fact that those opportunities fell into your lap and you didn't say...
I could have said no.
Right. You could have passed it along to the guy that loves to do faces.
Yeah.
And, instead of doing that, you said, okay, this is a bit out of my comfort zone. This is going to push me further as an artist. And, I'm going to keep moving. And see, but what that translates into is, I don't think people look at the broad picture a lot of the time. You have a singular focus, which is important in the beginning. But when you keep that singular focus, you tend to get one-track minded.
And you get burnt out really fast.
And you get burnt out. And, but think about where you could take that potentially, right?
Right.
So just predicate on being a well-rounded tattoo artist. If you are one of the best around, and, people don't say things like, Brad's really good at color and really good at, abstract pieces, but when it comes to finer detail in black and white, I would go with this other guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you become that well-rounded guy just to where everybody's like, yeah, I'd go to Brad just for whatever. Like, he'll hook it up, right? He'll do whatever because you've put in the time, you've put in the effort and the work to perfect.
And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm booked out till the end of October into November, and the only reason why that is, like, that's never happened to me in the years before, because I take anything. Whatever walks through the door, I'm going to do my best at.
Right.
And I had a guy tell me this one time. It was another tattoo artist that I looked up to, and he told me this. He's like, like, as a tattoo artist, when something small comes through the door, like, example, a tiny little cross or something very small and minute that isn't very appealing to my artistic eyes because it's not like a challenge. It's just like something little.
Right. And
it's just like, well, I don't really want to do this. I don't really care about this design.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's not for me. It's for them.
Right.
But there's also a lesson to be learned in this. Just because that's an easy tattoo, it's easy, minute, small, doesn't mean you can't learn something from it.
Right.
You can always improve. And that's what this guy told me. He said, it might be a shitty little tattoo and it might suck to do. But if you sit there and you put your all into it and you don't think, oh, fuck, I got to do another stupid little infinity symbol. If you sit there and you go, okay, well, I need to work on this. This will help me improve my line work by just putting my all into busting out this little bitty tattoo, taking my time and not rushing it like I normally would, taking my time,
right,
focusing all my energy on doing this and making sure that I give somebody a good product, no matter if I want to do it or not.
Yeah.
And that will improve you. And it's just something little.
Yeah.
It's a little step. Because we don't have jetpacks in life.
Right.
And I'm talking figuratively.
Oh,
like,
obviously.
you don't just get a jetpack and then boom, you're there. You're at the top of the mountain where you want to be.
Right.
It's not. You have to crawl your way up that goddamn mountain over rocks and stones, and there's mountain lions that yell at you and shit like that. And a mountain lion might be you get into a goddamn wreck or something like that, or a financial disaster, and you have to take a few steps back from your career because you don't have the money to put into it.
Right.
There's a number of challenges that get thrown at you.
Right.
And you have to overcome them.
Well, that, and by perfecting the art, like I was saying earlier, by getting to the point where you're a well-rounded artist and, you can, influence the people around you, and people, you are not so much looking up to people anymore, but people are looking up to you. Well, now you have options because you have a name that you've built for yourself on your reputation for being a well-rounded artist and a very good one. So now you can take that in a number of directions to, one, switch up the pace, two, push you even further than you've progressed already, like starting your own shop, traveling the world with conventions, things like that, if you'd have stayed on that plateau, you may not have ever gotten the opportunity to do. And it's, it's never going to be a fucking handout. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
if you never push yourself further and expose yourself to new things and, try hard, just fucking try hard. Like,
And it's
there's-
scary. It's fucking,
of course
it's scary
Like
to
that,
fucking, to take that leap and to do that.
and that
you know?
goes without saying. But also what you like, just think about what you can do with that in your life. Like, and I'm talking to the people listening more than I'm talking to you. Think about whatever it is that you're doing now, instead of being the person that's trying to be like somebody else, that's trying to, imitate what you see or what you want to be. Take those chances and progress further than the person you look up to, because not everybody, it's not going to be a purposeful thing. It's not what you're going to go after, and it's not what it's going to be. I guess a side effect of the hard work is you will be influencing a generation that lacks the patience.
Yeah.
You can lead by example the way you want your life. You know what I mean? And, if it, just apply it, you can apply it in a number of different ways, but I keep bringing it back to hunting.
Well, that's like me, how we started the podcast. That's like me taking this leap and starting to bow hunt when I've never hunted on my own ever in my life. The only time I've been hunting was with you.
Right.
And it's never been deer. We went shotgun hunting one time, but we didn't even kill anything. And I've went, duck hunting a few times, but I've never been on my own.
Yeah.
And, that comes back to what we've really been saying is like, yeah, I look at this stuff that I want to do, and instead of doing it, most of the time just think about it, or I scroll through pictures on Instagram. And that's probably what a lot of people at home do. They're like, man, I would love to pursue hunting, or I would love to pursue tattooing, or I would love to pursue cars or guns or something, or video editing or something in that sense.
Yeah.
But they sit there and they fantasize about it through their phone, and they
Which
they
is
vicariously live through people on Instagram,
which
and
is a
I've
huge
done it.
crutch.
Yeah.
Which is
I've
a
done
huge
it.
crutch because if you get that little fix, that little dopamine dump of seeing somebody else do it in a cool fashion because you've seen the fucking 6 seconds they took out of their life to pose an Instagram picture, you don't see all the hard work.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't see the trials and tribulations. You don't see the bullshit that they had to put up with to be able to have that 100,000 followers of something that they're doing that's badass. Having a kick-ass Instagram is a side effect of hard work.
Yeah.
And if you don't put in the fucking work, you're never going to have a kick-ass Instagram. And
And
that
honestly-
shouldn't be the goal. That shouldn't be the
Yeah.
goal. Like I said, that should be a fucking side effect.
Yeah.
That, every once in a while you can step back, whatever it is that you're doing. I don't give a fuck if you're running marathons, riding triathlons, whatever it is. Well, that day that you stood up on the podium because of the weeks and months and years of hard work, that's where that produces a fucking kick-ass Instagram photo. Now, that's not what I'm saying you need to strive for in life. It's just a fucking side effect of the hard work.
Right.
And if you just sit there and you fantasize and you never pick your ass up off the couch to do something about it, you're going to sit there and scroll for the rest of your life, and you're going to be on your deathbed still scrolling going, fuck me.
Yeah. I watched all these people do what I wanted to do and never did it. And that's a thing that I battle with every day. Is I look at these people on Instagram that have all these photos they post every goddamn day. And I'm like, I'm over here busting my ass and I don't have time to post photos. Like, I'm over here putting the work in. I don't even have a cool Instagram because I don't have the time to fucking post that because I'm so busy doing all these other things that I want to do.
Right.
Like I said, took a leap of faith. I want to hunt, so I'm a fucking hunt, and I'm doing it.
And
that's
while
top
we're on
of- and that's on the list of shit that I want to do. I have so many other things
right.
up my sleeve that I want to do, but you just have to take one thing at a time. You can't just do them all at once.
Yeah, and it comes down to while we're talking about having a platform to represent what you're doing, You know, it goes both ways because not only, you know, why do you start posting? You start posting for, you know, self-gratification, right?
Yep.
Because you like when those likes come through, you like when the shares come through, and you like that type of thing. It gives you a little dopamine dump. You get that there's people out there that like what you're doing. It's, you know, it's positive reinforcement and things like that. But if you're only using that platform for your own self-motivation and your own just, you know, showboating, you're not using that tool to its full potential, because the age that we live in is like no other in history. We live in a generation that has exposure to anyone at any time, anywhere. And you can use that to show what you're doing. And it's like I was saying earlier, you can use that to influence a generation. You know, everybody talks shit on their own generation. I think ours especially, you know, there's its ups and its downs. I think this is one of the best times to be alive.
Oh yeah.
You know, you don't.
I don't think a lot of people use the full potential of it.
But you
though.
don't. But they use it for the self gratification.
Oh yeah.
And they don't use it to influence their peers.
Yeah.
Because if you're out there working hard and you're busting your ass, and you have what somebody would call a kick-ass Instagram or a kick-ass Facebook or whatever, you are in some ways showing people what is possible, and you're influencing these people in a positive way. And I think if you can look at it from that aspect instead of your own self-gratification, I think there's a turning point, right?
Yeah.
So you have to develop the skill and become fairly proficient at it, whatever it is that you're doing, to be able to produce the results that would inspire somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like if you started today as a tattoo artist and you started an Instagram, you're not going to have a lot of followers. You know what I'm saying? And through the years of practice and drawing and you posting your stuff, you're going to get 5, 10, 20 likes. And, you know, but all of that's going to be for your self-gratification. But there's going to reach a tipping point in your journey to where it becomes not a support tool for yourself anymore as much as it is a tool to inspire others.
Yeah.
And I think if you go at it with that state of mind, you've taken that next step. You're not going to get stale with posting to social media, because instead of getting comments and likes like you do all the time, and it's like, yeah, that dopamine dump's going to get less and less, right?
Yeah.
And that gratification's not going to mean as much when there's 6 figures liking your shit and sharing your shit.
Right.
But what that should transition into is, hey, I'm influencing these people. I have a huge voice. I have a following of people that rely on me to post these things and to motivate them. You see the feedback. People repost your stuff and say, hey, you know, look at what this guy's doing. I can't wait till I'm there. Or,
right.
Hey, look what I did today, you know, and they use your hashtag or whatever it is. And then you're influencing the generation that you're talking shit on.
Yeah.
And you're actually doing something about it, as opposed to just saying our generation sucks and this fucking world sucks or whatever. You're actually doing something about it. See, and what that also translates into is you pushing yourself further, because now you have a motivation that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, and it does. It fucking motivates you, because I'm a product of that. I remember the first time I got 300 likes on a tattoo photo. I thought I was hot shit. I was like, damn, 300 fucking likes. That's 300 people that looked at the tattoo I did and said, hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, and a number of shares and shit like that. But I'm not going to toot my own horn. But like you said, you know, that little bit of dopamine, like, yeah, I feel fucking good about myself.
And now when
People
you see
like
300,
what I
you're just
do.
like, yeah, I expect that.
Well, I still don't get that very often.
Well,
I'm not gonna
okay.
lie. But still,
100.
Yeah, 100 is kind of normal sometimes, and it.
But the number itself doesn't matter.
It
right?
doesn't matter. It doesn't.
It's not the number.
Because I look at the people that I follow and the people that I look up to, like you were saying, the people that I follow on Instagram, and I'll check in the morning when I wake up just to see if they've posted something, because I love what they do and it inspires me.
Right.
You know, I use I try to use social media not as a hindrance, but as a tool sometimes. Like, yeah, it might be a waste of time
Right.
at times, but if I'm sitting there and looking at something and I actually sit and I look at it for a while, like I don't just scroll super fast. Like I'll
Right.
sit there and I'll really study someone's artwork and try to think, okay, how did they do that?
Right.
Like I want to be able to do that, and I study and I look and I think, how did they do that? And I'll fucking creep hella hard on you. Like I'm like, what kind of tattoo machines were they using? You know, what kind?
Right.
What were they using to achieve this product? And I'm not going to copy their artwork, but I'm going to learn from them.
Well, you're
and-
taking a
and-
piece of their work and you're letting it influence you in a positive
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And yeah, obviously you're not going to copy and paste their shit, but you're going to say you're going to run into that problem down the road, right? And it's going to make you a better artist in the long run because you've taken that tip, that trick that they have shared with the world. You know, for their personal reasons, but also they're influencing. You see how it works on the other end.
Right.
Because in anybody listening, you know how that works on the other end because you experience it every time you turn on your fucking phone and you scroll through your news feed and you see these things and you're like, there's things you scroll right past because they do fucking nothing for you. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Because but think about it. The things that you scroll right past are either just, you know, spam bullshit or it's people doing the same thing you're doing or somebody else on the same level as you. Right?
Yeah.
So if you-
because I look at them and I go, well, when I started following them, I thought all that shit was cool, but they haven't really gone anywhere with it. I still think it's all right, but it's not something that really, you know, speaks to me anymore.
See, but that's
and I
just-
feel like that's
but
me progressing.
Yes.
Past that,
Yes.
being like, okay, I still appreciate that for what it is, but I look past that now. I need more.
Right.
I need more. I need.
See, and you're staying hungry and you're staying progressive with it.
You have
and-
to. You have to stay hungry.
And you're doing minute changes in your lane,
Uh-huh.
you know? And if you do minute changes in your lane and you perfect and you become well-rounded at whatever it is, when you reach the upper echelons of whatever it is that you're doing, that you love to do, your passion, then and only then should you consider another one.
Right.
Pick up another one and say, okay, you know, it's like you're fucking good at tattooing. I'm not trying to stroke your balls off here, but
Aw,
you're
thanks.
good. You're great at what you do. You know, I would guarantee you're at the top echelons of that shop. And being that is, you know, you're still looking to improve. You're always wanting to get better, but there's room in your life now because you have the basics down.
Right.
You've put in the hard work. You have a following and a clientele. You can make steps forward and you can do bigger and better things with your life. But now you don't have to make that a singular focus.
Right.
And, you know, you have the basics down to where you just need to condition yourself to, you know, make minute changes.
Right.
And become more well-rounded. But that frees you up to do another thing, like bow hunting.
Right.
You're
That I've just picked up on.
See, but you're starting at ground zero, right?
Yeah.
But the tactics and the tools that you've developed in tattooing apply across the fucking board.
Yeah.
The hard work that you put in, the time, the research,
The drive.
the drive to do whatever it is that made you great at tattooing, that streamlined and directly translates to fucking anything that you want to do. All the fundamentals are the same. Yeah.
It's the same jitters and nervousness that I'm feeling now about the hunt that I'm going to have on Sunday.
Right.
I had that when I first got into my apprenticeship. The first few weeks that I was there, first learning and doing things and trying to figure things out, I still had that little bit of nervous jitters and things like that. Like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. You know,
Yeah.
and you're just working towards this moment. And I'm, you know, all week and for about 3 weeks now, I've
Yeah.
been working towards this upcoming Sunday when I finally go out and I put the time in, and now I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way as that year-long apprenticeship, I put that time in, that long amount of time, and I put the effort in, and I kept that focus the whole time, and then the final moment of, okay, I'm tattooing a fucking person.
Right.
It's happening. And
Right.
It's happening right now, and there's no turning back. you know?
Right.
And that's the way I feel right now. There's no turning back. I'm going on this hunt Sunday, no matter fucking what,
Right.
you know? And you have to look at it like that. You can't, there's another thing too, is you can't let these little accomplishments build your ego so big that
Yes.
it holds you there.
That's
Because
a fucking
you will
valid point,
build
sir.
your head. You'll build your head so big, and people will do that to you. People will do that to you so bad. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're the shit, man. You should go on Ink Master. You're fucking badass."
Well,
man.
for
You're
sure,
fucking
phase those
cool."
people out of your life, huh?
I mean, I appreciate what people say to me, but I brush it off. I don't let that shit.
Well, you just
I
gotta
don't
you
like-
gotta put that in your pocket and just say I'm on the right track.
Exactly. That's what I
Don't
take it as.
You know, you take the compliment. Always take the compliment, but you can't let it make you content.
Yeah, because
And-
just recently, like this fucking week, so I put this post on Facebook, and it's about they have this new electronic tattoo machine that
Yeah,
you
I
can
saw
use
this.
at home.
Yeah.
And this fucking dude, like I put on there, I said, if you use this and tattoo yourself out of your house, I hope you get hepatitis. And the few people commented on there, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with in-house tattooing. And
Well, it's kind of like prison tattoos.
yeah, well, I put this big fucking. I like. There's this dude just slandering all over my posts, and normally I don't like to argue with people on Facebook. I think it's the biggest fucking waste of time.
It's a dead end.
It's a dead end. It's stupid. It's a waste of your time. And the dude even admitted that he likes to argue with people on Facebook because he gets entertainment out of it.
Well, and that's somebody that's not doing anything with their fucking life.
Yeah, he's not doing anything with his life. Anyways, so I put this big long post dropping some fucking knowledge. You know, I've put my time in. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I do this every goddamn day, okay?
Yeah.
And that's not being cocky. That's being confident in the knowledge that I've learned over the 4 years of tattooing. 5 if you count my apprenticeship.
You've got a bachelor's degree.
Exactly. I've been
tattooing.
doing my career as long as some people have been doing college since I got out of high school.
Yeah.
You know? So I know what I'm talking about. I mean, normally I wouldn't argue with these people, but I was like, you know what? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to put you on blast.
Right.
I'm not going to let you sit here and tell people false bullshit and they just don't want to argue with you. So I put this dude on blast. And I didn't put his name in it or anything. I just dropped some motherfucking knowledge.
Well, and you know, by doing that, you're
Passive aggressively.
well, there's
showing people.
You know, there's a time and a place for putting energy into things like that.
Right.
Right. But you know, you made a valid point earlier. Don't let people telling you that you're doing a great job. I would almost say it's more of a hindrance than
Yeah.
anything. But like I said, you got to take those compliments and you got to put them in your pocket and keep fucking walking. Because when people tell you, "Oh, I love the," you know, like the podcast. Oh, we love the podcast. I love the podcast. I listen every week. And you know that, dude. I'm guilty of this. Hands up, we're guilty of this. Getting positive feedback and then coasting.
Oh, yeah.
We've done it. We've 100%.
We're coasting right now.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is you get this positive feedback and you're like, fuck yeah, I made it. We're good. And you never progress any further than that because you got the gratification of saying, you know, of somebody noticing and somebody saying, this is dope, right? And if you coast right there and you take that wrong and you take that as the end all be all, it's going to fuck you in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
And I almost like when people hate on things more than I like people complimenting, because when somebody criticizes your work, I don't know about you, but that gives me a drive to not only prove them wrong, but do better.
Yeah.
Do better, because if that stings a little bit when somebody says, hey, criticism, whether it's constructive or, you know, not well read or whatever it is, when they say it, you're going to know if there's merit in what they're saying. Right here,
Right.
in your heart, you're going to know, because you know what you're doing better than anybody. And
Right.
if somebody criticizes what you're doing, there's going to be one of two reactions. You're going to go, that guy has no idea what the fuck I've put into this and where
Yep.
the fuck I'm going with this.
Yep.
He's irrelevant.
That's
But
what I
then-
told that guy on that post. I said, you're talking about shit you know nothing about.
Right, but then there's the people that criticize and you're like, damn, that motherfucker's got a little bit of a point.
Oh, yeah.
And when those criticisms come along, you need to grab onto those. And you need to analyze them. Don't dwell on them, but analyze them. And say,
I honestly love those now. Like, when those first started happening, I would get down on myself because I'd be like, fuck, I'm fucking up. I'm not doing something right. I fucking suck. I fucking suck. I fucking suck. And then finally, I'm like, you know what? Quit fucking feeling sorry for yourself. Look at what they said.
Yeah.
Okay, they said this about that. So that means you need to improve on it. Sit down.
well, and you're gonna know. You're gonna know,
improving.
right? If they go,
Yeah.
if they go, that edge is a little off. You could have shaded that a little better. And even if they're not a fucking tattoo artist, and at first you're pissed, right? And you look at that and you go, yeah, motherfucker's right.
Right.
Well, that should give you the drive to focus on that specific thing that they're critiquing and make it better. I'm not saying you got to follow their directive. I'm not saying you got to do exactly what the fuck they're telling you to do. Don't take advice from a hater, but take what they're saying and apply that to your workload.
Well, it's always good to hear an outside perspective. Like, most of the time when I'm done with the tattoo, I'll take it around the shop and, like, I'll show it to everyone. And I know that they're not going to sit there in front of my client and go, oh, well, you should have done that different, or you should have done that different, or you fucked that up. But I know that when the client leaves, and don't take this wrong, clients, but, they might say, well, maybe try this with that next time, or maybe try that with that next time.
Right.
And I want that so bad. Like, I look for that.
Right, and
I
it's
crave for that.
It's constructive criticism.
Because it pushes me. Whenever somebody tells me I can't do something, it pushes me so hard to do it, especially if I want it. If I don't want it, I'll just be like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm not going to do that. But if I want it bad enough, me personally, and someone says, like, that's fucked up, or you can't do that, or something like that, that just makes me gung-ho to do it.
And also, this comes back to what we were saying at the beginning is being well-rounded and pushing yourself to be well-rounded and be the best. So if you're really good at one thing in whatever it is that you're doing, say a triathlete, you're really good at biking and you're really good at swimming, but you're lacking on the running, right? And somebody criticizes you and say, dude, you were doing great until you hit that run. You lost fucking 4 minutes on that run.
Yeah.
For the pace you were going. Well, you're going to be like, well, fuck you, man. Your first reaction is to be like, fuck you, I finished a marathon. What did you do? And, it's easy to write that off.
Right.
But if all you're doing in your training is swimming and biking and you're avoiding the runs, that's going to resonate with you. And you're going to go, damn, it's noticeable. And you got to take that. Yeah, that guy's a dick. But at the same time, you realize, well, I already knew that about myself. I was just choosing not to address it, and I was choosing not to work hard on it.
Right.
I knew that about myself. But it should just drive you to improve upon that part until you don't get criticized on it anymore. And I think that's how you progressively become better, is when you don't get angry at the criticisms, you take them constructively, whether they were well-spoken or well thought out or not. And
I think what anger is, and I think about this a lot because I don't come off as an angry person, but I have a lot of anger inside of me, and it just wells over.
Brad slits his wrists.
Fucks it. No, I was never an emo kid. I'm not like that. But I look at anger, and I've thought about it a lot, and what anger is you're scared of something. And the way you handle being afraid of something is you're just like, oh, fuck that. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
instead of handling the problem and facing it head first and being like, all right, I might be scared, but I'm going to fucking do this.
Right.
No matter what. Even if I'm scared, I'm going to put my all into it, and I'm going to give it a fucking go if I fail or if I don't. And I used to be just like, well, that's fucking stupid. I'm not going to do that. And that was just because I was afraid to do it.
Yeah.
And instead of being afraid and just getting angry about it, I sit and I look at it and I go, why am I angry? It's because I can't do it and they can. And I want to do it.
Or I can't do it and people are noticing.
Right.
Even if the people criticizing you are not even on your level,
right.
they're at the bottom poking up, they still notice. And you know, it's like I said, it's like being a fucking triathlete and not willing to put in the work to run. But you distract yourself by working on the bike riding and the swimming, and you're really fucking good at those. And you think that by being really good at biking and really good at swimming, you can be shitty at running because you're going to make up the time in these two. But if you can become well-rounded,
right,
just like I was saying earlier, and you can perfect the art through and through, you're going to be that much better of a person.
Yeah.
And you know, the work ethic that it takes, you know, and I'll wrap this back into what I started off with is, you know, I white-tailed bow hunt.
Right.
I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I've reached my plateau here. I need to bring myself out of my comfort zone again. How do I do that? Right. Well, I can't do it in this state because I've hunted everything that's in this fucking state. And, you know, I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. And if I want to perfect my skill, now this is a thankless skill. Yeah, I get meat in my freezer and I get my self-satisfaction. This is a lone pursuit for me. It's not something that, you know, is, you know, my business or my livelihood like you know, so there's even that much more reason for me to just write it off and go, yeah, I got this here. You know, I'm the best in the area, or I'm pretty good at what I do here. It's easy to get complacent in that. So,
and that's what sucks about the journey too, is that it's a lone journey.
Oh,
because I always, like, sometimes I'll be like, I really want to do this, but none of my friends are doing that, so I'm not going to do it because I don't have anybody to do it with.
Dude, I'm going to end up going to Colorado by myself.
Sometimes I'll just look at things and I'll just say, fuck it. Even if my friends don't want to do it, I really want to do it. Like a few years ago, I was super big into downhill mountain biking, which was kind of dumb because I live in the flattest state ever. But I was like, you know what? I'll get a mountain bike. I'll hit some trails, you know. And I even went out for a whole summer. I didn't even really talk to anyone. I went out every day when I didn't have to go to work. And I would go out every day to my grandfather's farm and had this little hillside. And I just made trail after trail after trail.
And
I
rode.
dug and I dug and I dug and I rode. And I loved it. I had the time of my life all by my fucking self. But it's because I had this vision and I wasn't going to stop until I created that vision. And I did. I had fucking dirt jumps. I had a ladder bridge. I had berms. I had all kinds of... Me and my friend, he wasn't really that big into mountain biking, but when we first started, he helped me build this fucking shack. We built a shack out there next to the dirt jumps just so we had something to sit under and just chill for a little bit. I could eat my lunch there, have fires or whatever, dude. And it turned into so much more, but it's like it was my own willpower and my own drive, and I got up early. I'd get up at 8 o'clock in the middle of the fucking summer.
I would get off midnights when I worked at the refinery, and I would meet him at the Edwardsville trails, and we would ride.
Yeah, we would ride, dude, just because I had this passion, you know. I wanted to do it regardless of if he was going to do it or if anybody else was going to do it. I wanted to do it, you know, and that's all that mattered. It didn't matter about anything else, and that's kind of what I'm doing with the bow hunting. And then I kind of wanted to touch on this too, what we were saying earlier. Like, you know, I feel like I've reached a plateau in tattooing. Like, I'm not in the subject matter of the artwork. Like, I can still improve there. But now what I've come to realize is that my tools aren't adequate for me. The same way with bow hunting. You know, you have bought many different bows over the years, actively progressing to get the better bow, better equipment on the bow that we were talking about a little earlier, different things to make your shot perfect. Now, what I'm doing is I just ordered a brand new tattoo machine, you know, something that's going to push me and be able to do more than what I've been able to do, because I've started doing larger, more illustrative pieces. And what people don't realize is, you know, you have what they're not called guns, they're called machines. And I have, sometimes if I'm doing a very large piece, I have anywhere from 2 to 5 machines set out maybe 2 different size liners, one small, one thick line, and then maybe 3 different shaders from small, medium to large, depending on the areas I have to fit into, what will work best for me. And I'm tired of using 5 different machines. It doesn't work anymore. It takes too long to set up. It's tedious. It's dumb.
It's inefficient.
It's inefficient for me and what I'm trying to do in my career. So what I'm doing, I bought a fucking $600 brand new machine that runs cartridges. And this machine will do everything that those 5 machines do in one. And what I do is I just use the cartridges. I switch from a liner to a shader, and I use the same machine. I might have to adjust some things, but what this will do, it's going to push me further because I feel like I've reached that plateau. I've reached this plateau, and I've reached the point to where these machines no longer are able to keep up with me, I feel like, in my mindset of what I want to do. And then this comes back to the social media. I see all the people I look up to using the same machine that I'm buying right now.
See, but check this out. Here's something else you're not considering. How much time is ate up in setting up those 5 machines that is now?
So much.
So that now gives you time
So
to
much.
transition that time into social media time.
Social media time, more time to tweak different things on my artwork, which I normally would have been like, well, I just got to let it go because I got to get this going and I got to get this tattoo going,
Right.
And now I can use those extra few minutes. Okay, yeah, let's post a picture up, just something to look at this drawing that I just did for this tattoo I'm about to do. Here's my setup. Check out my setup before I do this tattoo. Post that shit out. Let other people see what I'm doing, and maybe I'll inspire someone. Maybe I'll push someone like, oh, well, he's doing that. Maybe I'll try that, and that'll push them further. I think this world it's a shit ton of what you put into it.
Yeah.
People want
That's all it is.
Yeah, people want to get. Everybody just wants to get and to get and to get. But it doesn't come without sacrifice, without work, without pushing yourself, without trying new things and sacrificing and giving a little bit. I'm going to give this little bit to you, and I might not see it back. Might not see it back right away. But eventually, things will come back to you, and you won't even realize it. You'll just be like, I'm so happy. I just got this. This is fucking great. When normally, you don't even realize why you got it, but it's because you did something. And I truly believe in that. And that's another thing. That
Right.
goes into the law of karma, if you believe
Well,
in that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it all comes down to the dance, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're
The
not,
dance. It's a dance.
and if you're not, but if you're not even stepping onto the floor and trying to apply yourself to do something great, you're not actualizing yourself. You're not finding out what you're actually made of. And, for me, going, even considering a 5-day pack in, pack out on foot bow hunt in the Rocky Mountains is unfathomable to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that will say, why the fuck are you even considering this? But for me, it's a pursuit. And, I've plateaued at something that I love, and I don't want to not love what I love. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because
I
I'm
don't want it to
not
become
loving.
stale.
Well, I love what I do every day, but it's the same thing that I just said. The machines that I'm using aren't keeping up with me. The shit that you're hunting is becoming easy.
Right.
That goes back to who the fuck wrote that? We read this short story a long ass time ago where this guy, he got shipwrecked onto this island, and there was this millionaire that lived there on the island, right? And it turns out the reason why he was shipwrecked is that this millionaire planted rocks out in the ocean where he knew that the ships would go. He knew that people would wreck, and he knew that people would come to that island. And what this millionaire had done throughout his lifetime is he had killed everything. He had killed lions, elephants, giraffes, every kind of big game that he knew to kill. And finally, at a certain point in his life, there was nothing left to kill besides the ultimate prey.
Right.
Man.
Well, I'm
And
for sure not going down that road.
This is a very extreme analogy, but it's just reminding me of the book. But you have killed every single animal in this region. Now,
Right.
what you have to do is you have to progress.
Yeah.
You have to move forward. And what's the next challenge? And what's the next challenge that you think you can accomplish without getting over your head? You know, I feel like sometimes people.
Richard Connell, The Dangerous Game.
Is that it? Okay.
The Most
Yeah.
Dangerous Game.
The Most Dangerous Game. That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, you.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing your job. Fuck yeah, man. But anyways, you know, you reach that certain point, but I think this is a good step for you because
Right.
I feel like sometimes I even do this too. Like,
So
I'll
what are you
get-
saying? I'm going to start killing people, or
No. I'm saying that sometimes, like in your progression, people try to run up the hill. They run too fast and then they get winded. And then they're up there going instead of taking their time. You know, you could go straight to killing fucking lions in the Serengeti. That's probably not the best bet.
right?
Your best bet is to go to Colorado and do an elk hunt. You
Yeah.
know, because it's very common to deer. It's a little bit different because you have to spot and stalk, like you said. You know, and that's not what you're used to being in a deer stand and kind of like
Well,
ambush hunting.
See, but and also, you know, it this kind of caveats into another topic is like, if you're pushing yourself to do different things, there's a whole slew of things that you're not expecting that you're going. So like, there's going to be a lot of side effects to your hard work of trying to pursue this goal. So like for me to be able to elk hunt in the mountains, I have to be supremely physically fit.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, because I'm going into their territory and they run those mountains. They know the ins, the outs, the escape routes, the this and that. So not only do I have to pattern and, you know, research and do my homework on this animal and its habits and things like that, myself, I have to get physically fit enough to carry 70 pounds on my back to traverse through the Rocky Mountains at elevation.
Yeah, that's another huge thing is elevation.
It presents a whole new set of challenges. So essentially, I'm taking my basics and applying it to another ground zero, and I'm climbing another mountain.
Oh yeah.
And but it keeps that fire hot for you,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you better at life.
Yeah.
Whatever, and this doesn't have to be about hunting. You could fucking hate hunting. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But take the nuts and bolts of what we're saying and apply it to your own life. There's positive side effects to hard work. You know, for me to be able to pursue something that I want, I'm going to get physically fit. I'm going to have to wake up at 4 and train.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to, you know, a year's worth of training and do this. And, you know, eventually there will come a time where I'm going to look back and go, God damn, that was worth it.
And dude, look at this. So last night I went and got all my deer tags and my hunting license and everything I needed from Walmart, right? And I had the best fucking dude help me out in Walmart. Like he might have worked at Walmart, but I could tell by the way he talked to me, the way he knew exactly what he was doing, he put his all into his job. And it's a Walmart job. People might look at that and be like, "Oh, that's fucking low of the low. You know, that's fucking like not a very good job. That sucks, man." But you know what? That dude is going to go places if he wants to. You know? He honestly, like, I think he was a store manager.
Right.
But the dude put his all into it.
Yeah.
You know, I could tell. I could just tell. Like, he didn't know me, but he had super good customer courtesy. He was dealing with some shithead before me that was
Yeah.
just being an asshole. And then I came up, you know, was trying to be cool with him. And he was just like, it didn't even faze him that he had to just deal with that stupid person.
Right.
He came up to me the same way he would of any other customer there. And he put his all into what he needed to do at that moment in time, even if he doesn't like his job.
Right.
Even if that's not where he wants to be. He doesn't want to work at Walmart the rest of his life.
Right, but he's putting his all into
He's
it.
putting his all into it. So that, you know what that means is that dude is going to go places. As long as he has a direction and somewhere to go, he has it because he's putting his all into it.
Yeah.
And even if it fucking sucks, I think we've said this so many times on this podcast. I think people have heard it so many times in their life. But maybe you need to fucking hear it again. Maybe you need to hear it again. No matter what you're doing, if it's a dead-end job,
Be the fucking best at
be
it.
the best at that dead-end job and have somewhere to go. Have an escape route. Say, I'm going to be the best at this right now, and as soon as I get there, I have to have this out. And I'm going to move there.
And we'll leave people with that. It's been an hour. We blew through it. I think it was great. Evan, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. You did a great job.
And for all you guys out there, we'll be back next week. Follow Evan. He's got a zombie series coming out. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, zombies.
Where can people find you, Evan?
People can find me on the YouTube page, and if you guys are on Facebook, check out Original Evan B. Same thing on the YouTube page. We'll be releasing it on Halloween, and from there, it'll be every other week. Stay tuned. I'm super stoked to share it.
Hell yeah. He's hard working. He's fucking doing his own thing, and he's producing for us now. So
Yes, he is. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
it frees me up and allows me to have these kick-ass conversations with Brad. So
Yeah, when
But-
Jake's not here, goddammit.
But as always,
As always, chill the fuck out.